have a different color scheme.
Sure.
So, but they get seen from time to time. To make things even more interesting, in India, they see these animals that they call the pagayan. And its name means the cat that comes and goes like the mist.
Interesting.
Which, now they have revered the tiger there for a while, mostly because tigers can kill a fair few number of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if there are blue tigers, if they ever were a thing, mm-hmm. and science has said that if they ever were a thing, that they're extinct now because the Chinese would hunt them for their traditional medicine, because Chinese eat a lot of tiger in their medicine because they think it somehow makes them cooler.
I doubt coolness was what they were going with, but okay.
Yeah, but hold on. Before we go anywhere, I'm turning back a little bit backwards to where you were talking about a bird. I thought you were talking about a different bird, but the bird I was thinking about was a secretary bird. These birds are so rude, I swear. Like, they look like the sassiest things on Earth, I swear. Like, hold on. I'm just saying this because I thought this is what you were talking about.
Yes, they look very rude.
They are rude. They will bite your face off if you come near them.
Okay. Back to where we were.
Yeah, sorry. I was just...
Now, so, if these blue tigers still exist, then maybe that's what they're seeing in that little town in India is a blue tiger or two.
Sure, that's a possibility.
Because that blue is actually a very smoky gray.
Right.
Right.
And I think a gray tiger would have a much easier time of hiding than an orange one.
Well, sure. Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Not in China. Have you seen China? It's so colorful there.
The buildings and stuff, but, the outdoors pretty much looks like the outdoors.
Okay, but
Now, there was one thing I did want to talk about briefly back when we were in Australia, and I'm going to go back and catch up on it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big cat, but it's something that I feel like we have to address, and that is the Tasmanian tiger. It's not a real tiger. It's actually a marsupial. Its closest living relative is the Tasmanian devil, and I'm not talking about the cartoon character from Looney Tunes.
But he's fun.
He is fun, but if you see a real Tasmanian devil, they're less fun.
Well, the Tasmanian devil from Looney Tunes wasn't actually fun to anyone he was going after, just the character. Anyway, I'm sorry. Again, I'm jumping off into wherever. So, the Tasmanian tiger, though, looks cat-like. So, are we going into the possibility that it's something along those lines, or?
No, what we're talking about is the Tasmanian tiger is actually a marsupial.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a cat, or some people say it looks like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And if people see it in Australia on a regular basis,
mm-hmm.
and the rumor is that it is somehow still alive, or that it has been reintroduced into Australian life, mm-hmm. and there are pictures. Heck, a couple of years ago, scat was found.
Right.
And it came up with Tasmanian tiger DNA, but I mean, they don't know whether it's actually Tasmanian tiger DNA or something ate bits of an old Tasmanian tiger or whether it's just degraded DNA. And the closest match is Tasmanian tiger, which would probably mean it's like Tasmanian devil DNA, but whatever. Anyway, the reason I include it is because, as far as we know, the animal's extinct. It went extinct in the 1930s. The last one was in a zoo in New Zealand, where it was left outside of its home, but trapped in its enclosure, where it had a house where it could go, but it was locked out and it froze to death overnight. And that was the last one they knew that was alive. Now, they were predators, but they were out. They brought in both the dingo and the dog, which were better predators than it. The Tasmanian the Tasmanian tiger could open its mouth 180 degrees, but it didn't have the bite strength of a dog even. So it could bite something, but things could still get away. Whereas if a dog gets a hold of you and wants you, unless it's a small dog and you're a big person, you're not going anywhere. Dogs have some bite strength. And if they've got some size, they can hold you in place. So, and the reason we're including them is not because they're cats, but rather, in my mind, they fit the idea of that something that does not belong where it is.
Right. Because
it's supposed to be dead. Now, a lot of people have covered this, including a couple of my favorite guys, Matt and Adam from Graveyard Tales. And it's unlikely that it has survived. If so, it is a population that is such a low level that you just aren't going to see them very, very much. And they're limping along. Mm-hmm. Now, the other part of that, though, is that their genes are being sequenced. And if we are to the point, and we are, of them attempting to reintroduce a mammoth by combining its genes with an Indian elephant, then we have to be getting close to being able to reintroduce the Tasmanian tiger as well.
Okay, hold up. I heard you talking about mammoths and had to get up. Yeah, did you also know they're trying to bring back, those saber-toothed tigers? Mm-hmm. They're trying to bring those back, too.
And dinosaurs. And dinosaurs. That's, again, totally not where we're at right now.
But I would just want to tell you about the saber-toothed tigers, because I thought... Tiger.
I guess that's kind of on topic, so I apologize.
Now, so we've covered a fair amount, and we have a fair amount left. But before we go much further, I say we take a minute for a message from our sponsors, and then come back and talk some more about phantom cats.
All right.
Okay, and so let's go to Denmark. In Denmark, there's the beast of Funen.
Funen?
Funen. And again, I could be mispronouncing that. And if there's any Danish folks listening, I'll apologize now. The beast of Funen is reputed to be a lion or a lynx, neither of which is native to Denmark. Again, they think if whichever it is, it's a case of something being brought over and let go.
Right.
Now, Finland and the Netherlands and New Zealand and Luxembourg all have their own phantom cats. And then we have some here in the States. For example, in Delaware, they see lions.
Lions?
Lions.
In Delaware?
In Delaware. I don't know why.
I didn't ask why.
Since the late 1990s, they believe there may be more than one mountain lion in Delaware, and that they originate from animals released from captivity, because the mountain lions have not traditionally lived in Delaware.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not really a mountain lion kind of town. First state.
In Hawaii, in December of 2002, sightings of big cat increased in numbers in the Kula upcountry area. And they believe like it's a leopard, a jaguar, or a cougar. In the Shawnee National Forest of Alexander County in Illinois, there's a large black...
Jacu. Oops. I said that out loud.
Yes, you did. What is it?
Leopard, jaguar, cougar. Jacu.
Oh.
She's over here making new species up as we go along.
But in Illinois, in the National Forest of Alexander County, there have been encounters of large black panthers reported since the 1860s. Then in Massachusetts, they confirmed that there's 2 cases of a mountain lion's presence. There have been numerous other reports of sightings as well as alleged photographs. But more than these 2 remain unconfirmed by state wildlife officials. Again, they think it's a case of animals that were either domesticated or in captivity being released. In North Carolina, black panthers have been reported for years.
Yeah.
And then here in Missouri, about 7 years ago, more like 8 now,
8.
I was on 635, heading north, about to go to where 635 jogs onto 35 highway, and then almost immediately you jump up onto the exit for Platte City, which is where I lived at the same time. As you're coming off 635, if you look to your right, up above you, there is not a barbed wire fence, but a wire fence. It's farmer's area, you know? It's their land.
Right.
And it had recently been harvested, so there were stalks there, but there wasn't much else. And as I'm driving by, I see a large, black, stalking animal that I swear to you looked like a panther.
Panthers aren't bred there.
Well, that's sort of the whole point of the episode, Krysta.
I'm tired.
So now you're telling us there's panther in the hills of Missouri.
I'm not telling you anything. In fact, if you took a picture of the thing and said, see, it's a cougar, it was getting dark, that's why it looked black, you know what? I could believe you. I could.
It's just a personal experience you're sharing with us to help prove the point. But it as much proves the point as proves that it could have been completely something else and just...
Right.
So...
But
I'm not going to say like it was a fox or something.
It's interesting that you had the experience, for sure.
Right. And that is my point, is that I don't know for sure what it was. It was definitely a big predatory cat. Now, we do get cougars and wildcats in Missouri. That they are known here. Heck, they're known in the center of town almost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in forested areas in middle of Kansas City, I had a friend who lived on a few acres, and his trap cameras, he picked them up all the time. And I'm like, where are they coming from? And he's like, well, they probably live in there. And I was like, that's a tiny place for them to live. Sooner or later, they're going to eat somebody. So... if you took a close-up picture and said, see, that's the time, that's the date, look, it's a big cougar, you were